Well, who would have thought it? On Saturday, we claimed our first away win of the season, and it was away at Premier League Brentford. Absolutely incredible scenes, wasn't it? I think Nance just about saved himself from slipping during the celebrations, but that is what these Argyle fans deserve, moments like that. A first win over top-tier opposition since 1984, and we all know what happened that year. A run to the semi-finals of the FA Cup. Who knows what's in the offering? Anyway, Brentford beaten at home for just a third time this season as well, and it was Argyle that did the damage, all in front of the watching brief of our new boss, Miron Muslic. This is Argyle Analysis, and we will be looking back with glee over that 1-0 victory in West London on Saturday. The clean sheets thing is an important one. I think it was 53 goals conceded. It was the most goals conceded at any stage in the Championship season at the time when Wayne Rooney lost his job. But like you say, back-to-back clean sheets, and to do it against a side like Brentford, like you say, that's love to score at home.
Fantastic. And they went with the back three again, and I'm pleased they did. The pinnacle point of this... The key point of this, Charlie, is making sure the central player is slightly deeper. So Victor Poulsen, who I thought was outstanding, they all were, but Victor Poulsen in particular was outstanding. Look, because he's slightly deeper, it gives him a wider perspective than any other player on the pitch. So he can see the whole game. It means he can protect that space in behind. So the two moments here, the one previous, he could have picked up the left-hand side. He's in a position to maybe cover on the right-hand side there as well. So that central component is vital. Now, we've got a throw in here, and the reason why they've got depth is because it gives initially room for their midfield players to get on the ball. But what they also want to be mindful of is making sure that if a turnover happens, which it does here, you're not disconnected. So they've still got good positioning. Now, as the ball's played in here, if Victor Poulsen was to jump towards the nearest threat, he leaves a massive gap in behind. So he holds his ground really well. And by holding your ground, it invites Plymouth to come around the back as well and snuff out that danger. And as a collective, you could really see that they were working in unison, like a well-oiled machine. So this time, look, I love Poulsen's anticipation here. He's already threatening to go in behind because there's no pressure on the ball. So there's a threat. He knows that the Brentford player is probably quicker than him in a foot race, so he's got to give himself a chance. So what he does is he goes early to snuff out that danger. And this happened 6-7 times all afternoon. Look at Galloway and Poulsen here, ready to go. No threat on the pressure on the ball. In you go in behind, just snuff out that ball over the top. And, you know, Brentford was struggling to come up with anything significant, and it continued into the second half as well. You know, so Poulsen's slightly deeper. Because he's deeper, he's able to see the whole picture. Galloway's in connection with him as well. They get a breakaway, but they're in a position to be able to just usher the ball away from the goal, and that's what you want. It's not always about winning the ball, it's about keeping the ball going forward. Again, as it continued, look at this scenario here. So Poulsen slightly deeper with Pleguezello. It gives him half a yard on Wissa. Wissa is one of the top players in the Premier League. It allows his teammates to get back around the ball as well. I think that's Carvalho just trying to bend one, a half chance, towards the latter part of the second half. And this is the epitome for me, Charlie, as to why the central player has to stay slightly deeper. Watch Poulsen here. If he's slightly deeper, it means he can set the line. And as a result of being able to set the line, he can hold his run to entice an offside situation. And that's exactly what happened there. Now, there will be moments as well, and that happened on Saturday, where Poulsen, as the central player, will go in. And we've got two more examples here. If he decides to go in, watch Pleguezuelo here. So Poulsen's going to jump towards the ball, because he has to. Pleguezuelo's going to try and cover and balance in behind to protect that central space. So that happened in the first half, and here's a final example of how it happened in the second half as well. So Poulsen's going to get drawn towards the ball. So Pleguezuelo is going to think, right, I've got to protect that central space. Luckily, Poulsen goes with him, and as a collective, as a unit, they were able to snuff out that danger. Fantastic display of organised defending setup.
That looks quite easy when you break it down like that and you watch it like that. But take the factors against Brentford out the equation, which just makes it doubly hard. That isn't easy and hasn't been in evident quite a few times this season. So, how impressive is it that they've not only done it in that game, but they've done it back to back in similar ways, actually, to be honest, in just being difficult to get through.
I think it's very impressive, and it showcases that everyone's buying into the instruction and the setup and the game plan that Nance and Joe have administered. The fact that players were understanding of it as well, those clips make it, like you said, make it look fairly easy, but there's also concentration. It's also about reference points. So when the ball is here, how we shift across. The football pitch is a great setup because it allows you to take reference points that you can set up to on a training pitch and you just transfer it to game day. So the position of the goal, the position of where the boxes are. So if the ball goes on one side of the pitch, you just usher across and then just reference yourself against a particular component of the pitch. 6-yard line, post, near post, back post, whatever. And if they can get that on a more consistent basis, there's no reason between now and the end of the season they can't become a very difficult team to beat on the road in particular, which might lead to some valuable points.